What's going on, Dolphins? It is your boy Dillon, and I wanted to make another video because I got this alert. It's actually a tweet from Field Yates, and it was really interesting because it plays into this conversation that I've had a ton about first-round quarterbacks. Now, just real quick, my philosophy is I would never take a quarterback in rounds 1 or 2, but I would take one every single year in rounds 3 or later, depending on how bad I actually need one. But I would take one every year, so I would take one, at least in the 7th round, or, in as undrafted free agents is also acceptable, right? But I would always bring in a new quarterback into training camp every year, a fresh, young, new quarterback every single year, no matter what, right? Yeah, and I especially wouldn't fucking, go chasing for quarterbacks, trade up, none of that stuff. And I've also talked about pretty consistently about how the list of quarterbacks that go in round 1 are either busts, all-out busts, or, just average, which equates to a miss considering their draft positioning, right? Because if you have a first-round quarterback that ends up just being kind of average in the league, that's not living up to your first-round potential, et cetera, right? So, and that's part of the reason why a large part of the reason why I would never take a quarterback in rounds 1 or 2. Also because you can get, a Russell Wilson, a Dak Prescott, or a Tom Brady in a round that is not 1 or 2 and, be wonderful. We've also seen in recent history backup quarterbacks go to and play in the Super Bowl. You don't have to have the guy. You don't have to have the best quarterback to ever play on your team to be successful. Anyway, so the tweet, though, because I haven't mentioned it yet, is and also this tweet comes, and this little bit of information comes after the news that broke this morning that Carson Wentz was traded. The Eagles have officially traded Carson Wentz to the Colts. Which, the Eagles were pretty aggressively shopping him, so that's not really a surprise. I think they got a 3rd-round pick from this year and a conditional 2nd from next year, if I'm not mistaken. I only looked at it quickly. But anyway, so this bit of information that I am about to give you right now comes after the news about Carson Wentz. So, Field Yates tweeted this out, and he had to say, and with the trade of Carson Wentz, though there will now not be a single quarterback drafted in the 1st round from 2009 to 2016 that is still with his original team. 0 out of 22. Okay? 0 out of 22 quarterbacks in a 7-year span from 2009 to 2012 are no longer on the team that drafted them. And the vast majority of those quarterbacks, I would venture to guess, are, mediocre, average at best. Okay? And so, I mean, look at, Marcus Mariota. Look at fucking Carson Wentz. Look at Jared Goff, who just got traded, right? Like, look at all these guys, dude. I'm telling you, bro. Like, people fucking want to turn me into the fucking enemy because I point out things that, to me, are fucking obvious about the reality of situations. People hate when I point out the truth and the reality of things, but they also hate when, I say things like, oh, I would just never fucking, I don't care who it is, dude. I'm sorry. I just don't. I wouldn't take Tom Brady in round 1. I wouldn't take Patrick Mahomes in round 1. Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, I don't care who it is. I wouldn't take a quarterback in round 1. I just wouldn't. I wouldn't. Not gonna. But I would take one every year in round 3 or later because I do find it to be important, but it's a really important position enough to take one, as high as round 3 and certainly bring in one every single year. I find it to be that important, but I don't find it important enough to take one in round 1. I don't find it important enough to trade up. I don't find it important enough to, you know, tank an entire season and sell the fucking farm so that way you can get a guy who's undersized and injury prone. You know, and look, I don't, you know, I'm not trying to use this to knock on Tua. I think he's a great kid. I think he's a good person. I think he's got a great skill set, and I think he can be a wonderful quarterback in this league one day. But the Dolphins are going to fucking ruin him because they're stupid and they don't know what the fuck they're doing. And, yeah. Anyway, so I just wanted to get that out there. I'm not going to drag on too long. You guys know how I feel about all of that. I just thought it was interesting because 0 out of 22 of the quarterbacks taken in that 7-year span from 2009 to 2016 are no longer on the teams that drafted them. And I mean, like, the final word I'll say on this is I just don't know how much evidence people need. They stick with this philosophy that all you have to get is a quarterback. Right, like even Deshaun Watson, he's as great as he is, right? And he had a wonderful statistical stat from an individual standpoint last year, right? But even that, but it's proof. That in and of itself is proof that, you know, it's not just the quarterback. Because what was their record as a team? 4-12. So he had a phenomenal season, threw for like over 4,000 yards. Like, I think he might even set some records or some shit, right? Like, had an absolutely phenomenal season as an individual player. But that wasn't enough to get the Texans past 4 wins. So that alone, let alone the facts and the data of, I mean, it's just numbers, and the numbers show that when you take a quarterback in round 1, especially when you do things like you move up for him and stuff like that, because then that adds added pressure, right? Because then it makes the fucking, but just taking you know, I mean, this is applied to any first round player, but especially the quarterback position, right? You know, the amount of pressure that goes on him, and then especially because, you know, not only do they have then all this pressure going on to them when they still need to get adjusted to the NFL, get used to their teammates, learn the playbooks, etc., but, and, you know, get used to their coordinators, etc., right? Like, not only all of that, then you add the pressure on because you take them in the first round, and then you heap all of that expectation. But then when you throw them into the fire in their first year and just, you know, go with this assumption that they just have to be great immediately, well, it's fucking stupid, and it is proven time and time and time and time again not to be an efficient way to fucking go about things. Yet everybody keeps going on with this idea that just, oh, dude, look, man, hey, you just gotta fucking take chance after chance after chance. I don't care what you gotta do. Every single year you gotta fucking mortgage the house, the fucking car, the fucking babies. Dude, you gotta fucking get you know, some kind of fucking refinancing on your kids because you're so fucking stupid and don't know how to manage finances. You gotta fucking mortgage something, and that's all you got left. So it's like, what the fuck? Because all you need is that quarterback. You just need that fucking quarterback. It's like those fucking, you know, those morons that, you know, invest in just all the fucking dumbest things, or like have gambling problems or whatever, and they just always need a little bit more money, and it's going to be this time they're going to get the right investment, or this time they're going to hit it big on the fucking cards, right? And they just need this one last little bit. And well, it doesn't always, like, I don't understand it. I don't understand the logic, the reasoning, because it doesn't prove to work. It's not that you're not that one thing away. You're not that one hand away from winning that fucking, that, you know, hand of blackjack or poker. You're not a quarterback away. It's a team sport. There's more to it than just that, right? So anyway, that's what I got. I'm starting to drone now, and I am definitely going to end it there. With that, I'm going to get out of here. I hope you guys appreciate my perspectives. If you do, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the bell if you want to get the alerts. Share my channel and videos with your friends and family. Leave your questions, comments, and concerns down in the comment section. And of course, as always, follow me on Twitter at Dillon Tartaro. And with that, I am out. I'll see y'all soon. Fins up.